Welcome. It's the hot seat. So we never did an episode with just me and Kayla. You guys usually see us separate in our own autonomous lanes. So we figured for season 2 to make sure that people have a clear understanding of what Women of TmrO is and who we are, we just wanted to talk with each other.
Yeah.
And I feel like one of the things that we talk about a lot is like building and navigating female friendships as an adult, which is terrifying for both of us at times. But I feel like it's like overly terrifying for you.
It is. Yeah.
Why is that?
You know, I've just had so many, I guess, shocking experiences where I am a friend to somebody, and then I find out later that they don't even like me. They don't genuinely like me or really care.
What has been the worst experience with you and other grown women that has made you say, yeah, it's giving me PTSD. I don't want to do it no more?
Wow, I don't even know if I can even say it.
I know the worst one for me, but I know I can tell you guys, but y'all have to cut it from the episode because I just haven't talked about it yet.
Yeah, I'm like with one of the worst. I would say, and just a long story short, okay, no, there's a couple, but I'll just say one. So my background, since I was 17, I moved here 17, immediately got into the music industry. I was a recording artist and started with Epic Records and then went on to Warner Brothers Records. And so I was a child when I moved here and when I started like my career. And so every relationship that I made from that point on has been in the industry. It's either someone that I'm actually, I was in 2 girl groups. I was also a writer for a long period of time. And as a writer, I worked with different female artists, and there was one in particular that I worked with. It was a great experience working with her. Learned a lot, worked with some amazing people, and we were traveling together. I was traveling with her to her different sessions, and we were supposed to be besties. She always called me her bestie. That was how she introduced me to people. It was just like that whole thing. And what I found, the first sign was we're like besties. I go to her house, and we stay for the weekend, and a jacket comes missing, like a leather jacket. I guess it was her favorite one. And she couldn't find it. And she was just like, she accused me of stealing the jacket. She wanted to look through my belongings. And I was just shook because what the fuck? Like, you actually think I got to steal your jacket? You think that I'm a low grade, just like hood rat type thieving ass chick, like, but yet I'm in your home and yet you're calling me bestie. So that was the first sign with her, and I was just like, she's weird. Like, this is weird. The second thing that was the end was we had just been working together, going session to session, and I found out that, we were working with different producers, male predominant, business. And we were working with different producers. I found out later from another female that was around us that was close to her, but ultimately didn't really like how she was being treated by her, told me that she was going around asking the producers that we were working with, had they had sex with me.
That's interesting.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
And for me, those were just signs that that's not a real friend, and that there was some type of distrust there. There was some type of envy there, and there was fakeness there, just pure fucking fakeness. Because if we're besties, ask me, you slept with him? Are y'all talking? Or this and this? But it was more so like she was going around asking people, asking the guys. It was like she was one of those chicks that was more interested in being cool with the guys than having like a friend or trusting a female.
Do you feel like there's any area in your failed female friendships where you could take accountability for like how they kind of went left? I think that for me, in some of my failed female friendships, I was too quick to go off of what people said we were versus like taking them for what we actually were.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm better with that. Like I go off of earned behavior. So like you can't just come in my house just because you call me your bestie.
Yeah.
Like I have to see that you're not a crazy person. I have to see that you don't covet what I have, or you're not being super nosy. Like, oh, she wears this, she got money. Yeah. Well, her parents, she said this about her growing up. Yeah, she probably loaded. I could ask her for this. Like, that's very fucking strange to me. I would never let you into my home.
Yeah, that happens a lot. I definitely can take accountability for things. I know one thing for sure was once I started having so many disappointments, I started cutting everyone off if something did not feel right. And I don't think everyone deserved to be cut off. Some people deserved a conversation, but I was, I think, too. I was just too guarded.
Conflict resolution at that point.
I wasn't. I didn't even know. I didn't know. I had not had any situations where, that was an option, or where I felt like that. Yeah, like where I felt like that was an option. I didn't know how to work through things with women because, from my perspective, a lot of the women were fake. So I cut people off that could have had a conversation for sure, and to see,
That's fair. I think I went through that stage where I'm not going to even say that I didn't know how to implement good conflict resolution in my relationships, because I went through a period where a woman could do something across me and I'm good. I'll cut you off, blink of an eye. I don't care what it is, how big or how small. But I would give third, fourth, and fifth chances to a no good man like it was nothing. So I don't think it was that I didn't think that things deserved a conversation, or I didn't know how to have a conversation to work things out. I think I just would pick and choose who I wanted to have good conflict resolution with. And to me, at that time of my life, my female friendships or platonic friendships were just not valuable enough to me, I guess, for me to give it the time of day. But
so you were placing more of the value on your male relationships.
Yeah, I think during that time I really, really wanted companionship. I dated like my high school sweetheart for years. I thought he was going to be the one who I like married. That was it. I was like, when it comes to my personal romantic relationship life, I don't have to worry about that. I don't got to date. I don't got to see nobody else. I got this.
You already got it.
So when we didn't work out and I left that relationship, it was like, okay, there's a hole in my plans, and I just wanted to fill that hole. So the first man that would pop up and be like, oh, I like you, I want to be with you, I think I love you, I'd be like, oh, he loves me, this is my new husband. And I would just cling to it. And the only way I would walk away is like literally if God himself would come down and like flip over the table to where I could no longer be with him. But my female friendships, I didn't care. And as long as I had that romantic partner, it didn't matter if me and you had an argument going on as friends, because I have a man that loves me that I'm going home to.
Yeah, I kind of have felt that way too. It's like you kind of feel like it's a more safe dynamic with the guy. But you went to an all female college.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah, like how was it? I didn't get accepted.
That was crazy, Kayla.
My mom wanted me to go there, and I was like, Mom, are you sure? She was like, yeah. So I applied. They were like, no, sis.
You know what? Growing up, I wanted to go to Spelman just because of the name. I didn't know really absolutely anything about it. And then as I got older, I learned about like the tradition and things like that, and like the sisterhood. And I don't have a really, really large, close-knit family. I think that's something that I've always wanted to establish. Yeah. And so I was like, okay, I can get this sisterhood that they speak of at Spelman. So I went not even thinking like, Jasmine, it's all women, women are catty. That didn't register in my mind as much as like my mom was telling me this. It just, it didn't dawn on me. And then I got there, and that's when I realized like how I look at women is completely different from how women look at me. I grew up in Atlanta where it's tons of pretty women.
Yeah.
Like it's tons of smart women, and we all have, good value or whatever we bring to the table. And there were other girls who I guess grew up in areas where like you were the pretty girl by default.
Okay.
You were the smart girl by default.
Yeah.
So you come to a place like Spelman where it's like they saw everybody else as their competition versus their sister as it was supposed to be. So I was entered into this competition, so to speak, that I didn't want to be in. And I didn't realize that people who I thought I would have a good chance of building a genuine relationship with saw me as their enemy. So there were people who was like creating the wildest rumors about me as Spelman. Oh my God, this is about to go ridiculous in people's group meetings. There were people who said I was having an affair with a married man while I was in college. Keep in mind, I was in a whole relationship. I was actually engaged while I was in college. And nobody really knew except the people who knew.
Yeah.
But yeah, they said that I was having an affair with a married man who was actually a really good friend of mine. And it hurt my feelings that people would say that because I'm like, that's his real life. And if this petty college stuff were to get back to his household and his wife actually approached me, like...
You would fight.
Not that I would fight, but it's like y'all are creating conflict that's not even real. That's not fair to me. That's not fair to him and his marriage. Like, why would you do that? And then I think I chalked it up as like, this is college stuff. Like, we don't have anything else to do at Spelman and Morehouse, so people will grow out of this phase. And then we got older and we graduated. And I realized people didn't grow out of it. I think like 3 years after graduation, my friend called me and he was like, hey, did you hear that me and you have a secret love child? And I was like, what are you talking about? And he was like, people from the AUC are saying that me and you have had a baby.
You think it's because the people stayed in Atlanta, and it's still kind of like Atlanta's kind of like a big high school because everyone, it's so focused on this music and entertainment and, industry that everyone's still just kind of like in that same sunken place?
It could be that. I think that for me, there are some people who have really desperately wanted to be nosy about my life. Yeah. And because I haven't put it all out there, whatever I don't say, people just make it up. And then I guess the other half of it is people look at me and I look like the type that could do it. If I wanted to sleep with a married man, I could. Mm-hmm. If I wanted to take somebody's man, I could. This is all factual, but I don't. Yeah. But because I look like the type, people will just say, all it takes is one person like, yeah, she probably do this. And then the next person's like, oh, well, she does do that. Oh, really? Well, let's just tell everybody she does it. And then next thing you know, I'm sleeping with married men and I'm taking people from their girlfriends or whatever. Like it was just the stupidest thing that I had ever heard of. And I'm like, the whole time that y'all are coming up with the worst stuff about me, I'm in a whole committed relationship. Yeah. So it's like I never even cared to deflect or defend anything that was said about me because my relationship at the time was good. Yeah. My man didn't care about none of that. So as long as y'all aren't affecting what I have going on at home, you can run around and say whatever you want to say about me and a so-called married man, but it
does hurt, right?
It was really hurtful because that's not what I do. And it's like, if so many people are going to think that about me, then damn, maybe I should do it if I'm going to wear the scarlet letter. Yeah. But it is hurtful because where is that coming from? And I don't sit back and look at other women and say, oh, she's pretty. She around all those men. She probably sleeping with them. Like, no, maybe those are just her friends.
That's never been my thing. And what you said about going into the space of Spelman and just being competition, I think that really is the foundation of the conflict even that I was having. It's just like they felt they had to compete with me in some kind of way. Like that competition thing with women, I've heard it talked about before, just like always competing for the man, always competing for the spot. Like, if you're pretty, then I must not be pretty. Or,
like, why can't both of us just be pretty?
Yeah. That's crazy.
I don't know where that comes from. It's interesting.
I wonder, do men have that same dynamic of just being always in competition?
I mean, I'm sure they do. We've seen how men will, they want your woman, and next thing you know, they're shooting you dead in the parking lot. So we know that it happens. I think it just maybe builds up or manifests in different ways. But women, I feel, are just so conniving. Like, they'll literally try to like get under your skin, do just enough to piss you off. But like, if I swung on you, I would be in the wrong.
Yeah.
Like,
No, yeah. I feel like there's a lot of, I've experienced a lot of like how you were saying, sizing me up. And I was just
Yeah.
talking to a friend about this the other day. It's just like, you're sizing me up. You're looking at who I'm around, maybe what I drive, maybe what I do or what I'm wearing. And you're making up this whole idea about me, and you really don't care to get to know me. All you can see is like almost like dollar signs or something, like opportunity. And it sucks because that has gotten me to a place where I don't trust intentions. And I'm also one of those people, like, I'm kind of all or nothing. Like, even when me and you have had lunch, I struggle not to tell you all my business.
No, I'm the same way. But I feel like you go off of vibes and energy, and that's me. If I feel like you're a good person and you're a real person also, like, I don't want to pour my life onto someone who acts like they've never been through shit.
Yeah.
Or like, if I was to tell you the worst shit about me, you'd be like, whew, girl, this a lot. Like, calm down.
Yeah.
Relax. But yeah, I feel like if you can go off energy and you have good discernment, so you know who you can tell your shit to and who you cannot.
Yeah. I feel like I'm learning that discernment piece, and I'm also learning conflict resolution, like you said, like having the tough conversation, like, Jasmine, that hurt me, or why'd you ask me that, or I feel this way, versus just being like, oh, that ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
Let me just
I
shut it
saw
down.
something recently and I had to write this down. I have like notes in my work phone that's like powerful things to remember. And one of the things that I wrote is that there's a difference between having tough conversations and brave conversations. So now I try to remind myself anytime it's anything that's uncomfortable for me to talk about, like, it's just having a brave conversation. I think just changing that narrative now gives me a different like pep in my step for me to actually do it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I'm ready. Like I said, I rolled on my throat chakra. I'm ready to have the conversations. I'm ready to, like, yeah, I'm not that I say I'm giving people the benefit of the doubt. I'm not giving people the benefit of the doubt, but I'm ready for the conversations. Like, okay, let's talk about it. I don't want to, because I want friendships. I want to have friendships. I want them to grow. I don't want to be a chump. I don't want to avoid confrontation. You know what I'm saying?
So how do you find your friends? Like, your friends that you have now, how did you find them?
I'm always a person who meets people through the work that I do.
That's crazy.
Always.
You got to find other ways.
I guess my whole life is, I don't know how to I don't know how to do anything other than what I'm doing for my either creativity, like creating things and work are like synonymous.
Yeah.
So, I'm in my happy place when I'm creating something new, a product or a business. So that's where I'm spending all my time, and that's where I'm placing like my value. And if you're there, then I'm gonna meet you. If you're not there, I'm not gonna meet you.
You have to find other things it's crazy. I'm trying to think, like, I guess, yeah, that's most of our life now is like work. So if I'm meeting someone new, it's through creative endeavors. But
I feel like, I've met people at like a yoga class and different things like that, but I just don't find myself being I don't relate to them enough if they're not entrepreneurs. Yeah, like if they're not
like, we have that thing that bonds us, so once one of us no longer does it, it's like, okay, what do we do now?
Yeah, like I have friends that from like my childhood that were almost like, you know how they call them your cousins because you know them for. I do have those, but they don't live in Atlanta. They've never lived around me. So like I saw one of really good friends, Jennifer, in California. She was there. Her husband was nominated for a Grammy. And so she was out for the Grammys. And so we caught up. It was amazing. We were both after it. We were like, oh, I love you. Thank you.
That's great.
But I don't, like.
I don't have a lot of childhood friends.
No.
I think I'm I'm okay with leaving you alone if we've outgrown each other. So like people being like, oh yeah, this is my day one and I done known them since grade school. And I think that's cool and everything. But oftentimes what I see people is like, I can tell the parts of your life that you can't really move on from, or like you can't grow to the areas that I feel God would want to take you to, because you keep trying to cling to these relationships that keep you safe. Like maybe that's all that person is meant to accomplish, but you're meant to do more. But because you're stuck on this is my day one and I got to stay close to them, you don't want to move forward.
Loyal
You're
to a
not going
fault.
to move forward. I'm cool with letting people go. I look at even some of the people that I went to like grade school or high school with, and they're all stuck on this. Yeah, we're all still so close. And it's like, yeah, but some of y'all were meant to kind of move on from glory to glory, and you should have left them alone.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's because of that friendship that y'all have used as a safety net. So I'm cool with just being like, if this was a friendship that I was just supposed to have in high school, it was cool and it served me for that time. But maybe you just did that one thing, and maybe it was petty for me to let it go the way that I did. But I'm good with moving on, because I feel like where I'm at now, people that I was cool with just 6 months ago, they couldn't be with me at this space. So
being able to let go as you grow. How do you like? When's the last time you made a new friend? Like, and how do you go out of your way to meet people? Like, are you at the grocery store, like connecting? Like,
I hate being bothered in the grocery store, in the mall, when I'm out at like dinners. Like, I'm not the person that'll start a random conversation at the bar and be like, take my number and let's go out. That's
me either.
Not me.
Me either.
Now, if I'm with someone and my friend is doing that, then I'll do that because that's what my friend is doing. So I'm capable of it, but it's not like second nature to me to establish new friendships like that. I think probably the newest friendship that I've established is probably you.
Okay.
And but I feel like it takes time. Like if I were to meet somebody tonight out at dinner, it's like I'm not going to hit you up the very next day and say, come to my house or let's go out to coffee. I don't want to force it. Like, let's make this a friendship. I just feel like if it naturally becomes that, then great.
Yeah.
The next time that I create like another new long-term friend, it'll probably be when I become a mom. And I join like a mom support group or something.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not going to be in the grocery store and like, oh girl, you like cashew nuts too. Let's go out for a
right.
drink.
I know I probably did. I think that's probably a lot of my friends have left me in the dust because they all have children. And I probably would be bonding with them if I had children. But I've just haven't been focused on that. And so, yeah, a lot of them have left me in the dust.
Is that hurtful to you? Because the way you just said it.
No, when I think about it, I think that's really, like you were saying, when you say milestones, like, I miss that. I miss the times when they were, establishing those milestones, and maybe there would have been opportunity or something. But I tell you, being out here in this, entrepreneurial world, and the women, I've literally had two different women, and one of them is a executive at a music label and or publishing, something like that. But one time we were out, and I was with a friend, and we were going. This was some years ago, but it was like a party, and I was in like the VIP, and it was like Russell Simmons or something. And I guess she was impressed, and I already knew her, right? She wasn't paying no attention to me. Then she saw me that night, and she was like, I need to be what you're doing. What are you doing? What are you
I don't like that.
I hate it. And then there was another girl, kind of the same situation, where it's just like boldly sizing me up and then wanting to hang out. Not even being honest and transparent, like, hey, I see that you're doing this. I do this also. Can we connect and build on something like this? But just like kind of trying to act like they want to be friends, and then just let whatever resources I have like spill onto them.
Yeah. And it sucks because we're the type of people, like, if I'm genuinely a friend to you, I don't gatekeep stuff.
Yeah.
I'll give you the
Absolutely
contacts.
not.
I'll give you the resources. Go ahead, run for it. So if you're around me for the wrong intentions, or that's what you want, now I feel like, damn, I just gave really good stuff to somebody who doesn't really mean well towards me.
Yeah.
Or like they're not interested in me if
Yeah.
it didn't come with what I have that comes along with me. And that kind of sucks it's like, well, damn, I'm a powerful person. Like, I'm accomplished. So I don't want to feel like I can't be an accomplished person or I can't still do what I do and know the people that I know. But now how do I make sure that I'm creating meaningful relationships and real ones at that?
My experience very early on with women, or at that time we were girls, was, Kayla, you want all the attention. Kayla, you think you're all that. And it was even from some of my female cousins. And that early on made me just kind of like draw back. Like, okay, I'm just being me. And it's coming across to people like I want attention. And really, it's like, I know I'm just getting attention. Yeah. I'm not trying. But because that was so hurtful and it was coming from people that I thought loved me and I could trust or that I needed to be accepted by, that started very early on. I would say like probably about 11 or 12, where I started feeling like, don't be your full self. And it's taken so many years for me to finally be like, I can't help it.
Like,
I gotta be me. I gotta be happy. I gotta smile. I gotta be quirky or whatever it is that you're seeing. It's like, I can't do this shit no more. Yeah. I cannot like hide.
How do you think your lack of female friendships has affected you personally or professionally?
Wow, I think it has affected me a great deal. I think that I have relied so much on my romantic relationship because I did not have the female friendships. And the dynamic I can feel from other women is the kind of dynamic that you need. Like, to feel like, because we get each other, right? Like, we go through the same things. You can talk about like, oh, this happened, on set, or this happened at work or whatever, and they understand you. They're not trying to tell you, oh, that's just get some tough skin, or, I feel like I've needed that sisterhood. Yeah. I feel like the sisterhood could have also opened up more opportunities. For me as an entrepreneur, I would have made probably some more connections, and would have been able to give more, I like to give, in friendships. So it would have filled me up to be able to also like give and receive that kind of like love. I think if I had pushed past the fear of rejection from women, then it would have made me stronger and more confident.
Do you really fear rejection from females?
Yeah, I do. I do.
Interesting.
Because like I said,
I don't be giving a fuck.
You don't care?
Hell no.
I feel like, but see, okay, well, so you're balancing it well, because you don't care, yet you still have, I'm not saying you have a bunch of friends, but you still have friends. You got your girls.
You know what it is? The women who probably would reject me or dislike me for whatever reason, they're not people that I care to be friends with. The people who I feel I would have meaningful and valuable friendships with, we always get along. Whether if we've gone on to create these long-term, complex relationships or not, there's still some kind of relationship where like we can hit each other in the DM or see each other at an event and like it's all love, whether if we talk every day or do sleepovers or whatever. But the women who don't care to like me or know me or give me a chance, I would never kick it with you bitches.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't.
I guess mine was stemming from the childhood of feeling like I was the problem. So if they rejected me, then there was validation in their rejection versus being like, oh, you're not my people, on to the next. So yeah, like it has kept me from I think maybe I would have, grown faster in this space. But I was feared rejection from women.
I do have good friends, so I will say that. And it took a minute figuring out who was for me.
Yeah.
Because some girls got close when they shouldn't have got close, and then they almost got popped when they had to get away.
Yeah.
But right now, I can say I have really, really good, stable friendships for
I love
sure.
that.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm on the horizon of that. I do feel like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm open. I'm more sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more sure of like, hey, this is me. Yes, I'm still working on myself, but I'm okay. I like myself, so I'm okay with if someone doesn't like me. I know it's not me.
Yeah.
It's not me. Like I'm okay with myself. You know.
And it's hard to keep up friendships because we just got too much shit going on as adults. Like when
Yeah.
I developed most of my friendships, I was like working in the club and just paying bills. That was it. That's the only responsibility I had. I wasn't thinking about half the things that I'm thinking of every day now.
Yeah.
So if I didn't have any friends and I had to add that onto the list of things that I need to do every day, I just probably wouldn't have friends because that's just way too much.
I want to know, you being a publicist, how that affects like the dynamic with women that you meet all the time. Are you always trying to be politically correct?
No.
Okay.
One thing about it, like, I can compartmentalize my career. I think that a lot of other people cannot compartmentalize my career. But when I'm around my friends, I don't want to fucking talk about work.
Yeah.
And I hate being around people who only ask me like work questions or like, oh, you work with this person or you know them and you go here. Girl, I don't even care about half that stuff. Half the events and the red carpet stuff that I get invited to, I don't go to because I don't care. In my first 3 years of my business, I wanted to be everywhere doing all of that stuff, shaking hands with everybody in every picture. Now I'll be next to somebody super important that everybody loves and I will never pull out a camera phone because I just don't care.
Yeah.
But no, I never
am.
feel like I have to be politically correct. And that's one thing too that I will say I love about all of my friends is I don't feel like I have to be correct around them. I can be as ignorant as I want to be.
Yeah.
And they know me and they accept me and vice versa. So
Yeah. What do you think? Because this is something that I have be struggling with. It's like I feel like there's so many women that are there's so many cliques. Like there's these group of girls that just vacation together or they love each other and they're hanging out, they celebrate birthdays together. And there's always heart eyes under their pictures. It's just like, how is that dynamic? Is that dynamic real? Like, do you know any of the scoop on it's like,
what do you mean?
I just feel like,
is it like aesthetic girls or do you just feel
maybe it is aesthetic girls. I mean, I guess maybe I just can't relate to these big group friends. And maybe they're not groups of friends every day. Maybe they're just groups of friends when it's time to do something.
I think it just looks like a group to you. Okay. Like I think an outsider would look at me and my friends and say, oh, it's a big group of y'all, but we're separate. Okay. I separate my friends. Like there are some friends that like I can take them everywhere and anywhere. And there are some friends where like, I just call y'all when I want to go out. Like I know y'all good for a good time, a nice cocktail. We're going to go out to the club. We can go to dinner. We can talk about dudes. But like, I wouldn't bring y'all to Thanksgiving dinner around my family. Got it. And it don't mean that I don't love you. It's just, you can't come here. It's all right. And then there are other people where like it's not really their vibe to be outside. So these are the friends that I do more of like the intimate stuff and we have more girl talk and we'll have a prayer circle or whatever. So, and then there are people that like I love wholeheartedly, but I just wouldn't travel with you bitches. I can't. Yeah, I think it depends, but I think like that. I don't know if everybody separates their friends like that. I don't know. I feel like I might get some pushback like, damn, Jasmine, are they really your friends? But like, I think certain people are meant for certain things. I don't travel with all my friends. I wouldn't.
That's an amazing quality that you have. No, for real. Because for me, for the life of me, I do not... No, I'm an all or nothing. Like if you're gonna be my friend, you're gonna be at my house. You're gonna be who I call to travel with. You're gonna be who.
That's earned though. I do have some friends that I do everything with.
I don't know how to. It's earned, right? Mm-hmm. But I don't know how to have a friend that I don't completely like. I guess, they're here for everything. I don't know how to have a friend that, oh, I just go to hang out with her, because when we're hanging out, what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to get deep. I'm going to want to share some stuff, and they might not be the person that I trust for that. So it's almost like I isolate myself from them completely because they're not that girl.
You gotta like test people a little bit. Give them like a little piece of the pie. If they can manage that, then okay, cool. I'll give you more. Like, I can let you know where I live, and I'll let you drop off a package. And if you do okay with that, then next time I'll invite you in for drinks. You know, like maybe we can start off with like a girls' day at the house, and it's set from 6 to 10. And if you're not a weirdo during that time, the next time I'll say, okay, you can just come back and you can stay the night. But like, I can't just let you come over right off a rip and stay the night, kick your feet up, and I'll make dinner. And let's just see how it goes. No, because this is a safe space for me. I can't give you that much opening right up front, because you can do a lot of damage that quick.
Yeah.
So no.
Yeah, I had a girl that we were supposed to be friends, and she I had I've been a designer for many years. I started designing in 2003, and then I came out with my online store in 2009. So this was about 2010. I was out in LA, and I wanted to create we were both wanting to create something, and so we decided we wanted to do like a line together. And I was
it's hard working with friends. I already know where
but
this is going.
that's not even that. I was out in LA. I wasn't living in LA. I was out there sourcing fabric, working, because my manufacturers were in LA. And so I had a guy friend who had a house there, but he was rarely there. So he said, hey, yeah, come stay at the house, blah, blah, blah. I was like, hey, you can come stay at the house with me. And she was like, okay, cool, great. That was fine. That was the first sign of me opening up my resources to you, right? Not thinking anything of it, because I'm like, we friends, cool. Then we start working on the collection together. These are all my resources, right? Because she's just now entering into this space. And I'm like, this is going to be great. There was a old friend, not the guy whose house we were staying at, but there's an old friend of mine who came. He was living in LA, and he was like, hey, you want to hang out? And I'm like, oh, I don't really want to hang out. And full disclosure, we kind of dated just briefly. It wasn't serious, and I was no longer interested at all. So when he came up to me, was like, let's hang out, I'm like, I'm good. You know, we're friends. Don't really want to go that route. So he knew the other girl, and he was like, well, if she comes with us, will you come out bowling with us? I'm like, no, I don't want to. I was like, you can go with her. He was like, okay, are you sure? And I was like, yeah, I don't care. And so I really didn't care. So she tells me, she was like, hey, so-and-so invited me out bowling because she didn't know him. She was like, that's your friend? I was like, yeah, that's my friend. She was like, what do you think? And I was like, I don't have a problem. I was like, full disclosure, we used to date. It was not serious, but just know we did used to date. She was like, okay. She goes out with him. They end up being together, moving in together. And what ended up happening was she started neglecting the business to hang out with him, because honestly, I think that she thought he was on the come up on something, and she started just putting all her attention there. Based on that, it was tricky, because I'm like, okay, I don't want to do business with you anymore. One, because you're slacking, right? She took it as I was jealous that she was with the guy that I gave to her. And so that was a bad thing, right? Fast forward a year later, they are out celebrating his birthday, and he gets drunk and confesses his love for me to her, and shares all these things or whatever. Who knows what he shared? But she comes back to me and says, you're wrong. You're a liar. You didn't tell me it was so deep, and I don't trust you.
Why would you tell
What that?
her it was cool to hang out with somebody you used to date?
Why would I tell her it was cool?
Yeah.
Well, honestly, it was cool because I was not interested. I'd look at it like this. If you are my friend, why do you want to date?
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you do, that's fine. I literally didn't care. I do not care. But the issue to me was, how am I the liar, or how am I untrustworthy after things go bad?
Because bitches be weird.
That's the weird shit.
This is simple. The bitches just be weird. She has a different mindset from you. Y'all are different women. The second she came to you and wanted to ask you, is it cool that I date someone that you used to date? You should have said right then, that's just not my person. Because that's going to get sticky in some way.
Yeah.
That's weird.
And I should have known. I think I was like maybe 23 at the time, 24.
Oh, yeah. So we already at an immature age.
Yeah.
It's cool.
But I just didn't, I didn't see it going that way because, one, I didn't care. So I'm like, I literally don't care. So I'm not going to have an issue with you guys dating at all. But it ended up backfiring on me as if I was the wrong one. And I was the one minding my business the most and letting them live their life.
I just hate that every time I hear about like weird female friendships falling out, it's always a guy involved.
It's a guy.
Somewhere. It's never about business. It's never about anything substantial. It's always a guy. And 9 times out of 10, a man who ain't gonna end up with either one of y'all.
Right. And why are you mad at me? Why are you not mad at him for using you almost to get back at me? Because that's what it looks like happened. If he's confessing his love for me on a birthday when y'all are out celebrating, why are you not mad at him?
I just think people need to pick and choose their battles. You're not gonna catch me out here getting mad at somebody over a man. I just won't. I don't care that much.
Yeah, I'm not desperate.
I don't struggle in the men department, and 9 times out of 10, I'm really never the one that has a reason to be mad.
Yeah, yeah. I just don't. I don't see. I don't know if that's a. Is that a? I know. Is it a girl code not to date someone that? I mean, I hear some people fall in love. Like some people really get that pass and like, hey, go and date this guy that I used to date or this woman I used to date. They fall in love. Everyone's happy. They're double dating. Everyone's good.
I want to say that I guess it's some kind of unspoken girl code, but I particularly think of this friend that I used to have who has dated everybody in Atlanta. And I say dated very loosely, but like, how am I supposed to find someone and you got claims on everybody? And she was the type that was like selfish about it. So like she could have just DM'd somebody for 10 minutes and she's like, no, nobody can talk to him.
Oh.
Girl, Atlanta's already small. Like it's slim pickings out here. And you want to be selfish because dude sent you a DM telling you was pretty. Y'all was not in love. This man ain't ever hit it on a drunk night. Like, what are we talking about? Girls like that, I don't even want to be friends with you because I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, no, that's too much.
It's messy.
That was a real person?
That's a real person. What is one time that you really fucked up with a friend?
Dang. Do you have one?
One time I really fucked up with a friend.
Because I'm thinking right now. I'm thinking as you share.
I guess I would say, I just think there was one situation where maybe neither one of us did really good at communicating. And unfortunately, it was surrounding her wedding. And so I ended up not being in the wedding or even attending the wedding. And I don't think it dawned on me at that time how big of a flop that was until most recently my best friend experienced that with a close friend of ours. And I was like, I get it. That probably really hurt her feelings.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I did a wedding moment too. I feel like I know that if I had some time, I really could think of a bunch of probably different little things that I've done that I could have done better. But I had a moment like that too. I had a childhood friend. We were friends since probably like 6th grade, and she was getting married. And I didn't go to her wedding. She wanted me to be, no, she didn't. she didn't have me in her wedding because she told me that she remembered when I was in someone else's wedding and I was stressed out about being in that person's wedding. So she didn't ask me to be in her wedding, and then she just invited me, and then I just didn't respond. I didn't say nothing. But I felt that she was a flaky friend. I felt like she was everyone's best friend. And I think I'm possessive like that.
Okay, so it just sounds like from the beginning, y'all already had something going on. Okay, gotcha.
Well, I feel, maybe, but you
Why
know,
are
it
you
could
a
have been me.
possessive
It could have been
friend?
me. I think because I grew up with just me and my sister, wasn't a big family, I don't understand the concept of I can have several great friends. And so I don't understand the concept well. I don't relate to it. And so I think that caused me to feel like, well, if you're tight with her and you're tight with her and you're tight with her, like you're not tight with me.
You treat your friends like you're dating them. That's not healthy.
Okay, so yeah.
Okay. We're getting somewhere.
I'm getting out of that now.
Yeah,
I'm
we're
not
turning a
there
mirror on
anymore.
ourselves. I like that.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Yeah, I definitely am kind of possessive in that way. I don't like it.
I think I don't be caring enough.
You don't be caring?
I think the way I hear you talk about things, like you could probably care a little bit less and I could probably care a little bit more.
Okay.
That probably is my masculine energy. I just don't trip about a lot of things. Like I pick and choose my battles, and yeah, I'm good.
I'm seeking these next lifetime deep connections with every single person that I share my time with.
Absolutely.
And I feel like if someone is not tapped in on that in the exact same way that I have to just remove myself.
I definitely crave deep, meaningful connections, whether if it's platonic or romantic. I think I just give things space to grow to that point. I'm not forcing anything to get there.
Yeah.
So like me and you connecting and being friends, I'm not going to call you every day for the next 2 weeks to meet up for a coffee date or a spa day or something. Like if it happens, then it happens. And I want for this relationship to grow as much as it can, but I'm just not forcing shit.
Yeah.
In my most meaningful relationships, whether platonic or romantic, has been because I've given it enough space and room to grow to that point. And I think maybe like even some of my romantic partners have probably been like, damn, like you really are just kind of chill about this shit. Like you don't be up on a nigga. I don't.
Yeah.
Like, and I can be like, I'm still very loving and nurturing and all of that. Like you're going to feel like I want you and I want to be here, but I just don't press the situation. It's okay.
Yeah. Do you think have I pressed us?
No.
Okay. I'm doing better.
You could press more if you want.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think you have. Yeah.
Yeah. I've been chilling.
Okay. Do you feel like there's challenges in our relationship? We're having a therapy moment.
Do I feel like there's challenges? No, I don't,
Okay.
honestly. I
Good.
feel like we've been able to communicate, especially since it's like a work, personal.
Yeah. And sometimes
vibe.
that's really difficult for people.
Yeah, but I think it's been flowing.
Yeah.
I think it's been flowing. Is there something that you hate about me?
No, I was
Okay.
just about to ask, do you feel like if there's something that I could change about myself or work on, what do you think it would be as my friend or even as my colleague?
I can't even discern that right now.
You'll be fucking lying.
No. Honestly, I have not. I've really just been taking you in. I've been taking you in for who you are, and just really.
That's a lot to take in.
And I mean, I'm like I told you, I said I admire so many things about how you handle yourself, how honest, how upfront, and. And even the way you've treated me, I've been good with it. So I'm not even at a place of, I mean, you have good energy. So that's the first thing. It's not like, ooh, something ain't right. So that allows me to be like, chill enough to just like take it in and see. And I don't think we've had anything. What I say? We went out the other day at the BMI thing. I was like, I can't take another heartbreak. And you were like, okay. You like laughed.
I'm not doing this with you right now.
I was serious. I was like, don't break my heart, friend. No, but
that's real. Like female friendships and breakups, those are difficult.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so what can I work on?
I can't. What can you work on? Speaking up.
Okay.
You don't do anything that bothers me. You're good. I just think for you, I want you to just speak up more. I can't wait for you to just become like Kayla.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
But you're getting there.
I'm getting there.
Yeah.
I definitely am getting there.
And it's good. I think we both have a lot more time to see each other grow and learn.
Yeah.
And that's the good thing about friendships too, is like seeing people grow and you being there to like witness it or grow through it with them. That's what develops long-term friendships to me.
Exactly. You know what I think is great? I don't sense a feeling of competition with you.
Yeah.
You're secure in yourself. You're not over here clocking my shit. I'm not clocking yours. We're like, we both had great experiences in life. We both, know that we are talented and smart to get shit going. And I don't sense that competition. I think that's a big thing.
Because we have shit going on. That's the thing. You can't be friends with people that ain't got shit going on.
Yeah.
That's just really what it comes down to.
Yeah. Yeah, because in Atlanta, or I guess everywhere, a lot of people do a lot to make it look like they have something going on.
Yeah.
So sometimes you can't tell until you realize that, they're empty. So.
To bring this to a close, I'm grateful.
I am too.
Yeah. Yay, Women Of TmrO.